You don't even know if your boobs will rise again from your stomach back to the original position. You don't know what's going on. Like, it's just so much.
Sometimes,
and then you just feel so...
Sometimes you need to accept that Olympus has fallen. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of OffAir with Gbemi and Toolz. Oh, it's your birthday. It's your twerk.
You did not pay me any money to twerk.
Who pay you money?
Bitcoin.
Who's paying you to love?
Pay me Bitcoin. That's it.
Anyways, hence her tiara.
Yes.
So how did you spend your birthday?
It was a very busy birthday. I was working. I had a shoot at stupid o'clock. You know, was working pretty much most of the day. Then went out to dinner. Then went out to the club.
Yes.
And you know, saw our good friend Deb.
Yes.
And yeah, it was a good time.
She is the head patron of that club.
I am not the head patron. No.
She had to.
In fact, there was a scarcity when we went there, so I had to ask. I said, "Where are the girls?" And they were like, "There's a private party upstairs. There's a certain
whose party was it?"
So he was upstairs. So I can come and meet me. No.
Okay. You know what? I will give you the person's initials. Mm-hmm. If you guess, you guess LG. So that's that. And then yeah. So that person. I didn't know why didn't you do that? I didn't know you could do that. You could actually have a private party upstairs.
Because there's usually a parade, but it was kind of scarce. I was like, I had to ask, please, where are the people? That's why they're upstairs, so that's this person, and then once in a while they'll play Dorime and then they'll carry a bunch of drinks. And I was just like, wow, can I come? Can I go upstairs? But it was cool.
Yeah. Speaking of our good friend Debbie, there's something she posted and I laughed. And she was like, "Oh, for those people that come to strip club and they seem irritated when strippers touch them, why are you at the strip club?" And I remember one of the first or second time I went to that club, and I saw there were certain artists that were there. And there was one artist who was like, "Oh no, I don't let them touch me. I don't let them touch me." I'm like, "Why?" It's like, "Oh, because they can steal my destiny." I was like, "Wait." So when they go around,
all the groupies you sleep with,
what? They go around and they shake. They'll be like, "Hi." These strippers will say, hi.
They'll say hello.
Yeah, they'll say hi to people and everything. And he's like, "No, I don't shake their hands." And I'm like, "Wait, you don't shake their hands because you think they can steal your destiny. But it's okay to rub their ass cheeks. So rubbing the ass cheeks doesn't mean they can steal your destiny."
You're not worried about your barber who has access to your head and your beard to steal your destiny. You're not worried about all the multiple girls that you sleep with, as these guys do. But no, it's the girl that's just trying to make her money in the club that's going to steal your destiny.
I think, Gbemi, when you leave, broadcasting everything, I think you should open up a strip club.
I don't think I have patience. I don't have patience for that, please. I don't have patience for that.
I think you should.
I don't have patience.
I think you should open up the first. No. I think you should manage the first male-female strip club.
No,
in
thank you.
Nigeria.
No. That'd be too much wahala. I beg, I don't want.
But you're so passionate about it.
They work hard. That's all. And it's not fair.
You're passionate about it. There's so many different industries that people work hard, but
but people just disregard them because they look cute while doing it, so they think it's not work.
Yeah,
Yes, work cool.
Photographers don't look cute, please. Anyway, moving on.
Anyhow, and of course you guys are watching this during the Salah break. Happy Salah, guys.
Yeah, where's the meat?
Yes, man. Not the. You know what I don't like? I don't like Salah meat that's dry.
You got us?
Yes.
Okay.
Let it be correct Salah meat.
Not bone.
Okay.
I'll bring it on Monday.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I should. My family's half Muslim, half Christian. So
every time you say this thing, now we don't see the meat since. Do
you know how big my family is? By the time they've killed everything, I shared everything. Then I need to take my cut, and then there's not enough.
Say my cut.
Seriously. So yeah, Accent guy is gonna sort us out. And then don't just bring like dry Salah meat. You know what you should do? This is what you should do. Get them to do the Salah meat, right? Don't let it be too dry. Then you know what you take? You grind pepper. Wawa yimata like that.
You think I'm gonna?
Oh yes, I forgot. You never enter kitchen.
Only to eating, don't to make noodles. That's all. Yeah. Okay, good. All right, so let's move on.
All right, and of course, very, very important, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, send to your friends, send to your mama, send to your papa, your uncle, your auntie.
I just have one question. Will it kill you? like you they will come, they will watch it, they will comment, but just like this something now, like it,
you will
subscribe. Like, what's the problem really? Like, is it taken from your destiny if you don't subscribe?
Gbemi will say something, I'll say something, you will laugh, but subscribe. Anyways,
why? Now, wow, no, people are generally very stingy with like YouTube subscriptions, likes. Why?
I am.
And then to the unfortunate soul that is disliking our video, is everything alright with your life? With each time you dislike our video, you will have one bad year of sex.
Wow!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is harsh.
Yeah, it's not.
Anyway,
All this hard work every day, you now come and dislike my video. You will not have good sex.
Anyhow, you guys just get our numbers up, because both of us have like I don't know about you. I've got like a what's it called? A plastic surgery wish list. So that after our last episode, I was like, yes. So you guys help my funding, please.
So who's your doctor? That doctor? Dr. Miami? Who you gonna go to?
So somebody told me
That?
about this doctor in London that I'm gonna go check out. So I was thinking, should I go to
Doctors in London are not usually known for their surgery.
But you know what though? They don't do it as extreme. Actually, what am I talking about? I'm not gonna do a BBL. Anyways. You know what? When I do it, I'll tell you guys.
Right.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Yeah. And see, when I do it, you guys, man, Lagos will suffer.
It's a lie.
Lagos will suffer.
It's a lie.
Really?
You'll be too modest. You will not.
No. You guys will see. Anyways, all right, let's get into the cocoa of this episode.
I go fling the babies.
Bro, like I need to restore.
Don't swallow them. Just throw.
Oh, just throw?
Yeah.
There you go.
Phew. Hey. Woo. Wow. Yeah.
See, she's crying now.
But why does one look like Bush baby? What's this? What is this?
It's the baby episode.
Where? Cry now.
Toolz, they're making it way too serious.
Toolz really wants a baby girl. That's why.
Aww.
Really?
Is there a way you can do it to get a girl?
Is there a way you can do it? Upside down.
No, they want to know if there are positions you
Is
can
there a
do
way
to
you
get
can
to get a girl.
I
or
mean,
boy. People
She doesn't know.
obviously I don't know.
no, but people swear that there are certain positions you can do
No,
to get
I don't-
certain.
I
I don't
don't
think it
think
works.
so. I don't
though.
think
I don't think it
so.
works. Some people think, certain days of your ovulation you can count, and then you are sure to get a boy or sure to get a girl. But
I don't
whatever
think so.
God
I don't
gives you,
think so.
just thank God.
And for the people that don't know, the sex of the baby is determined by the guy.
Yeah.
So for those people that say, okay, my brother or my sister or whatever, they just keep having sons or daughters, and they want another. You have it's quite common in Nigeria where, let's say, a couple, they just have daughters, and then the guy's like, I want a son, and he's putting the pressure on the woman, and it's actually down to the guy. So just in case you didn't know that. Anyhow, lots of people have been asking us for the baby episode, and here it is. We're going to be talking about everything, conception, everything.
I don't know about conception, but how long do we have to keep holding these strange babies?
You've got to comfort the baby, just gently,
You can feed the baby,
You
right?
can touch the baby.
Oh my Wow. Wow. Somebody call child services.
Whatever.
We're gonna put that in the chat.
Somebody call child services. Demi just flung her baby. Seriously.
Because
Anyhow, so let's talk about when you found out you were pregnant.
I didn't know. He was the one who was like, you better check yourself. I was like, nah, I'm good.
So what
I'm good.
symptoms did you have?
I was just, at first I was just all right. And then I started feeling like bloated. And then eventually I started to feel really, really tired. Bruh, I was sleeping like a fool. God, I was just sleeping. Every second I was sleeping. Then I was nauseous. And then you know how they would say, it's morning sickness? Mine was at night. It was at night. For some reason, when I get back from work, I'll just feel just totally nauseous, and yeah. So that's, I have a list of hold on 1 second. Yes, all the symptoms I went through just to remind myself, no matter how cute I look, my babies look, I have it.
What
actual
is pus?
My fingers are still numb, please. Yes, symptoms.
Really?
So, yes, I went through nausea, vaginal bleeding, intense toothache, peeing, intense hunger pangs, flatulence, a lot of flatulence. Yeah, everything was aching. I'm telling you, and I was sweating and feeling hot all the time. I'm the kind of person who doesn't like AC, but I was sweating. And then I'll be under the AC like this, I was always sweating, night sweat. My hands were tingling. Literally carpal tunnel syndrome. Even till now, they still tingle. Yeah, 6 months after, they still tingle. I had very, very bad acne. I could show you pictures and videos. I had recurring yeast infections, headaches, blurry eyesight. Sometimes I couldn't see for no fucking reason. Yeah, then there was fuzzy memory. I couldn't remember things. I was very forgetful. Then dry, itchy skin. Like seriously, I'll take a comb and just be scratching. Yeah, okay. Also, my nose was very big. They used to call me Don Jazzy.
I was Nostradamus.
Wait, then really painful, really painful boobs and nipples. Now, see, you know how you come out of the shower and you just take your towel and you wrap. If my towel should just brush past my breast, I'm like, yeah.
Oh, you had very, very sensitive nipples.
Very sensitive, very painful. Chest and back acne. In my life, I never had acne on my body, like body, face, yeah, but body, yeah. So just to remind myself, and then insomnia. I'll just be awake for no bloody reason.
Yes,
and
insomnia.
other things, but this is just my list of few things that I went through. Yeah,
I can't. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember my first and my second. So I knew I was pregnant. So the first time I didn't know. Like for my first son, I didn't know. I just like felt funny, and then I was now thinking, okay, I'm late like a few days because I have like an app.
Yeah, who doesn't have an app?
I'm like, I'm late a few days. I'm like, okay, it's gonna come. Anyways, so by the time I was pregnant with my second son, I now started realizing certain symptoms. So there's this really weird symptom I have. I get short of breath quickly.
Yeah, I couldn't breathe too.
Yeah,
so we had to wear masks. This pandemic, I nearly died.
I would go up the stairs, like stairs that literally, my stairs in my house where I can, go up and down, nothing. I would go up like a flight of stairs and I'm like,
yeah, you could, hardly breathe.
That, and then I have a very sensitive nose, so basically when I'm pregnant, oh my gosh, the sensitivity goes off the chain. I had to tell there was a certain perfume that Captain likes his perfume. There's a certain perfume that I was like, I will vomit on you if you wear that perfume again. And at first he was like, and I was like, and I could smell it every time he'd shower and wear it. I'm like, you're wearing that perfume again, I will vomit. There were certain perfumes of mine that I could not wear at all.
There are certain things I had bloodhound nose. Basically, your nose is so sharp you can smell anything.
There was this time I was in a queue and the person behind me had bad breath and I could smell it. And it was just so, I felt like it was overpowering me. So I had that morning sickness. Mine was like throughout the day as well. I think for my second son, I was vomiting up until the week I had him.
Oh no.
And when I say vomiting, you know the kind when your insides are knocking. Yeah, I was doing that.
As if you're going through an exorcism?
Yes, where it feels like your insides are trying to come out.
So why do you want to have another child?
Because they're lovely. My children are just beautiful. I love them. Anyways, what else?
I'm done.
Which trimester did you find was the hardest?
First and second.
Oh my gosh, mine was the first and the third.
No, first and second, and then towards the end for the third, it felt like the baby was going to fall out. Because it was so, like, my stomach was so huge. I couldn't see my feet. Well, it was just a lot. Like, I don't know why. If you have, like, 6 kids, I don't know what you are doing.
My mom has got 6 kids.
Sorry, my boy. I mean...
Mine was the first because I had intense nausea. So and it wasn't just in the morning. Funny enough, in the morning it wasn't so bad, but later on in the day, I remember one time I was working out and I had to stop to throw up.
You were working out?
No, because I was like, let me, You
had the liberty. You did effort to work out. I didn't even have the energy to work out.
Second trimester, that was for my 2 sons, second trimester was actually the best. When I was pregnant with my first son, second trimester was when I was like going out, I was dressing up, everything. Then third trimester, towards the end, that was when, oh my gosh, the swelling was incredible. So I had a pair of shoes. So my first son was born in December, which is, winter, in the UK and everything. And I had these shoes. I had these loafers, obviously just flat shoes, right? I had these loafers that I was wearing and they were a bit big. So this is a few weeks before he was born, and my friend came to see me. She was like, okay, let's just go out to grab a bite to eat. And that day I looked homeless because nothing could fit. Because I was like, I don't really need to buy maternity because I'm sure I'll be fine. So nothing could fit. I had this freaking jumpsuit or like a cat suit, like black, and then I was trying to wear these shoes that like a bit big, and she's looking at me, and I'm trying to, like, my feet were like bread bread in
Absolutely, yeah,
so massive. So she's looking at me, she's like, you're not going to get your feet into that. And I'm like, no, I can. And literally I could not get my feet into it. So in the end I went out to a restaurant with socks and sliders. Oh yes, of course, memory. I can't, like, after 2 pregnancies, I can't remember shit for most of the times. I'm just like, And literally, like, it's my second pregnancy, I would be having conversations with my husband, and he's like, you told me that. I'm like, when? And it became I didn't tell you that. And he's like, no, you told me that last week. And I'm like, really? So
yeah,
there was
memory,
and then loss. The crazy thing is,
crazy dreams. I had crazy dreams.
I used to have, like, my dreams were like carnivals.
Yeah, mine were very vivid. I had this very vivid dream about how I went to Jay-Z and Beyonce's office and we had like a proper conversation, and then somebody came to knock on the door, and then the person, and that's how I woke up, and I was very upset for like most of the day. I was really, because Beyonce and I were really vibing, and then there was this other conversation, there was that dream I had where Amrobas came, and then I had like an AK-47 and I finished like 6 people, and then by the time people came, they were already on the floor.
Oh my
blood
God.
And everything. It was really vivid. I'm telling you, like, you have really vivid, crazy dreams.
Did you have like crazy sex dreams as well?
No sex dreams, but just no sex dreams.
Okay.
No
My
sex
bad.
dreams.
I just
but like, it was just really vivid.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I cannot remember them at this present
You're
moment.
a liar.
But the worst thing for me was I was constantly tired, but anytime I took a nap, I would feel so sick afterwards. I felt so, I couldn't, and then towards, like, from my second trimester, I couldn't sit for long. I just had to, like, keep moving. So it was very strange.
My worst one was not being able to sleep on my back. Because that is my original sleeping position anyway. I feel most comfortable on my back. So after a certain point in your pregnancy, you're advised not to sleep on your back.
Front
or on your back. So you have to sleep on your side. So I'd literally wake up and be in pain because this whole side would be hurting. And then I'll shift to the other side. So also know that I'm sweating. I'm sweating that they poured water on me. And under AC as well. Then what else happened again? I
had the opposite of yours. My husband says that he always knows I'm pregnant when I complain about being cold. I'm the kind of person, I love AC everywhere.
Really
and then I never complain that I'm cold. So anytime I'm at home and I say I'm cold, he's like, and I'm like, what did you do? But the worst, so first trimester and then towards the end of the third trimester, just horrible. Like, for my second son, he was born in July, which is obviously, summertime.
The best month.
Summertime, but July is not, depends on where you are, but July is not a great time to be pregnant because I was so hot. There'd be times, right, when I'd be in like where we were staying, I would just be there, like, watching TV in my underwear because I was so hot. then it was really bad. And towards the end, like closer to like my due date and everything, I just was going out without my wig. It was that bad. I was too hot. I was uncomfortable.
Look, I was pregnant in the middle of the pandemic. There was no point in being cute. Cute for who?
No
for
makeup.
For what?
No. I was going out though. I would go to different places and I would just not wear my wig. And I'm like, you know what? Then I'd look at my face. I'm like, last, nobody can recognize me. My nose was like this. And I was, and then my lips got bigger.
Oh no, my didn't get bigger. It was just my nose and then my face. My face was really huge towards the end. Now there was something that we talked about.
I got dark. I got very, very dark.
Bro.
I got very dark.
It's the weirdest thing. From like, first of all, it started with my boobs. It's weird. Your face is like, my face will be like, who can I use to describe?
Nicole?
No. Yeah, what? Yeah, my boobs got really, 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 really dark. Like from there, and then it started going up. I was super dark. Like one time, I had to put on makeup for something, and my makeup artist was confused. Like, I don't know. I don't have your shame. It was terrible.
No, yeah. But how long did it take for that to clear up? Because I know that
a few months after delivery, it eventually started to clear up. But it was funny enough. It was really like from here upwards, my neck was black, and I remember somebody going, "Oh my gosh, her neck looks dirty." And I'm like, "I'm pregnant." They said to you?
No, not to my face. It was something that I saw. I think like a tweet or something. So my neck was dark, and then my makeup artist, big shout out to her. She didn't really say anything. She just kept taking the darker shade. Like, we're gonna use this one today. Oh, we're gonna use NW47. We're going to use this one.
No,
and then it took a while to clear up as well. I had like bad skin, really bad skin, and then you can't do anything when you're pregnant. You can't do
you can't even
peel. You can't do anything.
Even I had really, really intense toothache, and my dentist was like, "Sorry, we can't do anything for you until after."
Yeah.
In fact, some even say until after you finish breastfeeding and stuff. Now, because of a previous surgery, I had a blood clot in my lungs, and so.
This is during the previous surgery.
Yeah. So what they did is that my doctor said from week 20, I had to start to inject myself in the thigh every day until after delivery, a couple of weeks after delivery, with this injection that basically helps to prevent blood clots. So in each thigh, like once a day, and it was terrible because as you're injecting,
you had to inject yourself once or twice.
Once a day. Okay. And as you're injecting, the liquid is burning. Yeah. It burns.
That's a steroid.
I actually sat down and Googled how to stop the burn. I even thought of maybe putting it in the fridge because it was terrible. And each injection was like $2,000 or thereabouts, and I had to do this for 20 weeks plus thereabouts. It's ridiculous. It's very expensive. So if you are struggling to feed yourself now, you might want to think about it.
Yeah.
You know.
I was on a whole bunch of medication. Obviously, I think everybody kind of knows what happened first time I got pregnant and stuff. So because of that, I had to for my two sons, I had to be on, there was one time I counted and I was taking about 10 tablets a day, and then I still had to inject myself as well, and I kind of got used to it. It's really strange. I remember I was so upset when they told me that these are the pills you need to take and this is what you need to do, and I was so upset. And then I thought about it and I was like, look, if this means my baby's going to be okay, I'm going to do anything. I'm going to do anything and everything. So I just
show you that she wants more children. Look at her still holding on to the
I'm
baby.
wondering,
do you want to eat?
How do you go through all this and you still want more?
Do you know the crazy thing? I never really thought that I was a maternal person. I've never felt that way. But then I had my son, and I just love it. I just love it. Like, honestly, when we first got married, I was telling Captain like maybe 4 or 5. I mean, now I've reduced it.
What? 4.
I come from a big family. I come from a really big family. So even 6 is kind of small.
So
do you know how many kids my dad had?
Well, that's your dad.
So I've always grown up with a lot of noise. I've always grown up with like a lot of people. So I could not. Yeah, that's because, whatever. But I've always wanted like a few kids. You're making it seem like I'm saying I want 10 kids.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, you can't pay me.
Yeah,
Even if you say
I've only got 2.
Even if Elon Musk comes down and says you pay me money, I'm not.
No, I just, just one more time.
It was the worst. No, honestly, I mean.
Jack.
Even if Jack comes and says you give me money now, I went through so much stuff. Like I just can't.
Do you know the crazy thing? Afterwards, I kind of forgot. I forgot.
That's a lie. It is. They always tell you that you will forget. I've not forgotten in my life. It's a lie. A lie.
There's you know what it is. You know what it is, right? There's certain things that happened, and I wouldn't say I completely forgot, but they kind of pale in comparison because I'm like, oh my goodness, my child is here, my baby's here, my baby is healthy as well.
Fantastic. So, they always say, okay, let's stop. Let's talk about symptoms. Let's talk about delivery.
Do you know what I think it is? I really think I don't think I would feel this way. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not God. But I don't think I would feel this way if I hadn't gone through what I went through at the very, very first. Because at that point, I was like, look, when, we kind of found out that things weren't going to, I was like, I would give anything. I would do anything to make sure this baby's okay. I mean, I had like amniocentesis where the needle is this long.
And they have to dip
and
it.
they stuck it in my belly. And when they told me they were going to do it, I was just like, is this going to help the baby? And they were like, yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be cramping. And they were like, one of the side effects is you're going to, it's going to feel like labor. So I was just like, okay, fine, do it. So everything that they kind of told me afterwards, especially when they told me about, you said delivery, when they talked about delivery. So pretty much like you, I had surgery for fibroids as well. And so when I got pregnant with my first son, they kind of said, we're talking about everything. They were like, oh, the doctor's like, yeah, you're going to have a C-section. Yeah. And I was like, no, because I didn't want to have surgery. No, because I didn't want to have surgery. Not because I was like, no, I need to give birth like a Hebrew woman. No, it was more because I was like, I don't want to have surgery anymore.
Okay.
I didn't like, the needles, the needles are massive. I still have scars from like,
I know.
So I didn't want to do it. And then the doctor broke it down to me, and the doctor was like, okay, so this is how you could die, and this is how your baby could die. And I was just like, okay, let's do the C-section.
I already knew from time that I wasn't going to be pushing anything. Like, I was like, I did not want to be doing that pushing of anything or whatever, but I just...
Do you know also why I wanted to, actually have a, natural delivery? Because, if everything goes well and you don't tear, oh my gosh, tearing for the people that have natural deliveries. Oh my goodness. I remember I had to go to one of my classes, and then the nurse was like, okay, so we're going to go through the different degrees of tearing. And she was like, okay, so this is the vagina, and this is a 1st degree tear. This is a 2nd degree tear, and a 3rd degree tear is when it tears from the vagina to the bum hole. And I'm just like, what kind of opening is that?
Why?
It just was, God.
No.
So I wanted to, because the recovery time, if everything goes well, the recovery time is not as long as when you have a C-section. And both of them are painful, in my opinion.
Yeah, they are painful. Actually, I think it's even harder to do a C-section. But you know what? You never know.
But there's some people that think that, if you pick a C-section, it's the easy way out.
It's not the easy way out.
That is a goddamn motherfucking lie. Because for me, after having a C-section, and I'm like, okay, my legs weren't working. And I was like, okay, let me just, then, like, is it about 2 or 3 days later, I was still in hospital. When your womb starts to shrink. Oh my gosh.
The pain is very painful.
The pain was, my aunt, I remember for my first son, my aunt came to see me, and she saw my face and she's like, maybe I should come back. Because I was like a mad woman, and I'm like to the nurse, no, give me something. Because it felt like where they'd cut me, it felt like somebody was trying to do this, like trying to open it. It was so painful. The pain was just intense. I remember that one. And then you have with a C-section, you have this weird like flop, this belly flop. Yeah. It's just horrible. You have like would you classify it as a fupa? Is it a fupa?
It's a fupa. Now it's your fat upper pubic area. It is.
For the first time in my life, my belly is hanging a little bit. And I'm just like, and it's just the worst thing.
Look, I think that pregnancy and childbirth kind of just humbles you, because
it does.
I had to look at all my clothes. First of all my clothes were just jankbe. Like my mother would call it, I had crop tops and bodycon dresses. And then when I finished, I was just like, wow. So I couldn't fit into anything. I had to have a tailor make me like these huge sack-like dresses for pregnancy time. And then even after, I was just like, God. I think we need to also talk about the psychological part. Like, you literally have to psych yourself to be like, you're fine. Because you just, first of all, pregnancy just does a number to your body. So people who
Can I interrupt you and say something? Pregnancy is not 9 months, it's 10 months.
Yeah.
40 weeks. 40 weeks. If it was 9 months, it would be 36 weeks. Pregnancy is 40 weeks, so 10 months. So pretty much a whole freaking year, you're pregnant. Yeah.
So your body stretches in ways that,
and you can't drink.
And some things don't. Oh, that was very sad for me. I used to cry. Like, I can't even have wine. Why?
I used to get my friends, like, when we go out, they would order wine, and I used to smell it.
She said, do they at least give you drugs?
Like the good kind.
No, you can't. When you're pregnant, unless something drastic happens, the most they can give you is like paracetamol.
Oh yeah, that's all you can.
The most they can give you is like paracetamol.
And even then, you have to be very careful, because you also don't want to feel like
you don't want to
you've done something to hurt your child or whatever. At the same time, so you're so paranoid. You're already paranoid as it is, and then being pregnant in the middle of a pandemic where you don't know what's happening, what's going on.
Yeah. No, you can't smoke weed, and you can't smoke crack either. But oh my gosh,
girl.
speaking
Yeah,
accent. This is accent girl. Speaking of alcohol.
Society, guys.
Speaking of alcohol, so I didn't know. So I was pregnant not long after my dad died, and it was obviously a very, very emotional time, and there was a lot going on with me, with the family. So I had decided that look, I need to get away, and I'd gone to Dubai with my friends, and I'd gotten like white girl wasted, like. It was one of those things. It was, I mean, I remember going to a club and there were like all these hostesses, and the lady never let my cup get, less than half full. So anytime I drink, she just like, so I was drinking vodka, I was drinking different things. And I remember there was this time we went clubbing, and then we decided to go to some other club or something. I just remember seeing Naira Marley there, and I'm just like, And then we got back to the hotel, and it was time for breakfast. And I'd worn this like gold sequin dress, and I was just like
a disco ball.
if I go back to my room, I'm probably gonna miss breakfast, and breakfast was dope. So that's how I ended up going to breakfast in my gold sequin dress, and some girls were looking at me. I'm just like, yes, I went to the club, and what? Anyways, so when I found out I was pregnant, and like further down, I calculated and I realized I was pregnant in Dubai. So I'd been, but I didn't know. I didn't know. So I'd been.
Yeah.
There's many stories like that where people find out that they're pregnant like much later on.
And
So
you've done some crazy stuff.
I had to tell my doctor. I had to be like, I had a bit to drink at the beginning of the pregnancy, and he was like, okay, was it for a prolonged period, and so on and so forth. And I was like, no. So obviously, they check you, and because of my conditions and stuff, I had to see the doctor every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, let me ask you about this. Were you paranoid at any point? Were you like, they always say that when you start feeling the baby move, that if something changes, you need to, let them know, you need to go to the hospital or something. Did you ever feel paranoid at one point?
Oh yeah, I was always paranoid. At some point I started bleeding, and I was paranoid because that was how I had a miscarriage before this one, and that was how it started. And so I was always like freaking out. So any little thing, I was at the hospital like, hey, check, scan, check. Don't just rub my belly. Don't just press here.
Yeah.
I want to check and just make sure everything is okay. So yeah, I was always very, very worried and very paranoid about every single thing.
Yeah.
And I also didn't want to do anything that would harm my baby.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I just didn't want any hiccups, no wahala, whatever.
Yeah.
Everything they told me to do, I did.
Yeah.
I was very, very, very like prudent. Like this must result in a healthy child. I don't want any stories, no drama, no whatever.
Same.
And that's what it was.
Same.
So
my I think both my my sons, the pregnancies were, quite different. With my first son, obviously, going through, after coming out of, what we went through, I was so paranoid. There was a month that I went to the hospital every week because this is after I started feeling movements, and then there was a few days I didn't really feel anything, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I went to the hospital, and I mean, you know what? Big shout out to the hospitals that I've been to. They have all been very, very like accommodating. Nobody ever sent me away. Nobody said, okay, you're being, dramatic or whatever. So I would just sit there. They would do the whole, that thing that they put over your belly to monitor like the heartbeat and everything. So they would do that. And then the doctor was like, oh, I think your baby just turned around. So obviously if your baby's back is, facing your belly, then it's more difficult to feel the movements because if he or she's moving their hands and everything, it'll be like your insides and everything. Yeah. So yeah, I remember being very, very, very paranoid.
Yeah,
very.
My
very
was
paranoid.
always, once she started moving, she was moving. My stomach would go phew. She was very, very, very active. So
I used to have like my second son. He used to do this weird thing where he would just shake. And I was like, oh my god, I used to be so freaked out. And then, oh gosh, it was. And you see my son, right? So there was a point where he was very. They were like, okay, he's a bit big. And I was like, oh my god, what have I done? I ate too much. I did this, I did that. So I had to literally just, no carbs, nothing, just salads and everything. And then by the time he was born, he was back to his he was actually back to normal weight. He was actually smaller than my first son.
Okay.
Then from 6 weeks to like 2 months, I don't know what happened.
The change is very
doubled in size.
Yeah, that's how they behave.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's how they behave. It's true. Like all of a sudden, you're like, because if you look at your pictures of your child as a newborn, this wrinkly little person, and then you give it like a month, you're like, wait, whoa, as in, yeah.
My son, my second son, when he was born, I was so pissed off because they had to use forceps. And he had a mark down his face.
Oh, no.
And I was ready to fight. My legs couldn't work, but I was like, who the fuck did this? Who the fuck used the forceps to pull my baby out and left it? So, and I was so worried. I was worried because it was very, you know how pale he is? So it was like a red mark down here. And I was just like, is this thing gonna go? So the first few pictures of my baby, he just got a red mark all the way down his face. And I was so upset. But obviously it went. But let's talk about the first few weeks.
Well, before we even go into that, the reason why we're going like really in depth into the symptoms and everything is because a lot of times they don't tell you a lot of things. I didn't know a lot of things. I had to do a lot of Googling. I had to look on YouTube, and a lot of times also, majority of the women who I saw on the internet talking about their pregnancies were Caucasian women. I wanted to hear from black women. I wanted to hear from Nigerian women. I want to hear their own opinions. They're not very many. If you search on YouTube now and say you want to find out what's happening, or pregnancy symptoms or whatever, you're most likely going to see a Caucasian woman's video before you see before you see somebody black or somebody African.
Why do you think we as black African women, we don't talk about it enough?
I think that pregnancy, womanhood in general, there's a lot of secrecy, even from your period. It's, you can't say period, you say anti-flu, or you say, your visitor, or you say, it's a lot of nonsense really, but there's a lot of secrecy around, just so many things that women go through. I had no idea that I would have intense toothache. Nobody told me anything. So many things that I wasn't told, like for example, when I gave birth, lactation was a problem because it was just not coming as I thought it would be, just come out, but it was drop. Like I'd literally use a breast pump correctly for an hour and I have less than 3 ml. Like, what is that? So like, and then it was not later. My mom was not telling me, oh, me too. I was like that. I was like, so why did you tell me? Do you understand? Like, why do you have to? Literally, at some point in the hospital, they give me that blanket. They squeezed my boobs like it was socks. You know how you squeeze socks? This is what they did to me. See, one person had their hand here, one person had, and they were squeezing. How can you do this to somebody's boob? The person has just given birth days after. Like, and I was why? Why do I have to go through this?
There are lots of things. Imagine. So you're talking about your thing. Imagine me thinking that, well, you know what? I'm fully loaded. It's not going to be a problem. And there's nothing I didn't do. But then I found out later on that if you have a C-section, because obviously with a lot of C-sections, the ones that are planned, you actually have the baby before your due date. So sometimes that can actually affect things. But I agree with you. I think there are lots of different things that we don't talk about. I think we don't talk about like miscarriages. We don't talk about that.
Oh yeah.
And that is something that's
very common.
Yeah. And it's for me, I think if I hadn't sort of announced that I was pregnant, I don't think anybody would have known what happened to me. I would have just kept it to myself. But things didn't happen that way. And I remember looking on the internet, trying to find, just like you said, trying to find stories from women that look like me, from African women. How did you survive it? And I didn't see a lot of stories. So I think that's why, that's definitely why I decided to talk about it, because it was, honestly, I've lost my dad, but that was the worst thing that ever happened to me in my whole life. And just going through that and not being able to find the support that you needed, trying to find similar stories of people that went on to have healthy children. I really, really, really was obsessed. There were times I would be online for 8 hours just searching. So I was just like, you know what? I think it's part of my responsibility to actually come out and say, look, this is what happened to me. And look, I have 2, healthy children, baby boys.
Yeah. What tricks did you guys learn from those? Like, what tricks did you learn? Because you said it's responsibility to talk about it. So are there any tips and tricks that you can share?
For what?
For
enduring
being
pregnancy or
pregnant.
something.
I think that in
Like,
general, everybody's
surviving.
experience is different. Everybody's delivery experience is different. So what happened to this person might not happen to you and stuff. But
each pregnancy is different.
Exactly, each pregnancy is
pregnancy very
different, and I
different.
feel like it just helps you mentally prepare yourself. So just in case this happens, XYZ person said they did this or whatever it is.
I think it's very important to have a good doctor. That's actually very important. And then trust your instincts as well. I feel that, when you're pregnant, you should be in tune with your body and you should know like what's going on. So if there's something that you're not comfortable with, don't be scared to get a second opinion. My first pregnancy, I remember I was so worried because I never felt the baby move. And I remember telling the doctor, hey, when I'm ready, I'll come for that hospital. I remember telling the doctor that I can't feel anything. And at that point, they'd already kind of said, okay, you've got fibroids. You've got I had a really big fibroid. And this doctor then says to me, why are you complaining? Like, the baby's there battling with fibroids and everything, and the baby's still alive. Like, why are you complaining? Let the baby, just like grow and stuff. And I was just thinking, you shouldn't say that to me. And that was actually a very, very important thing. Like, when afterwards I realized that the baby should have been moving, I should have felt it. And what he said didn't make sense because a baby's going to do what a baby's going to do. A baby doesn't know that there's a fibroid. A baby doesn't care. A baby's just going to, move and, roam around or whatever. So when he said that, I was just like, huh. Then I found out that, oh my gosh, this same doctor, he almost killed somebody that I knew.
Oh God.
So should I name? I'm not gonna name
No.
But he almost killed. So basically, she had. I think she was O negative. There's this condition. It's either if you're O negative
Something
or O
about
positive.
your rhesus factor.
Yes.
Something.
And all it takes is, so when they know your blood type, when you're pregnant, you do so many blood tests. So when they know your blood type, they're actually supposed to give you an injection so your body doesn't fight the baby as though it's like an infection or something. And this guy didn't give her the injection. And then she kept feeling sick. She was very, very sick. So she ended up traveling to the States, and she had to be rushed to the hospital, I think a few days after she got to the States. And they were like, oh, and before she left, the same doctor had been like, oh yeah, you're sick, maybe you have malaria or typhoid or something. So when she went to the States, she was like, oh, I think I have malaria, I think I have typhoid. So she had a temperature, they brought it down and they sent her back home. And a few days later, same thing happened. Like, her temperature, was out of control. Then when they examined her properly, they were like, your organs are shutting down. So literally, if she hadn't left the country and gone to see another doctor in the States, she probably would have died. So it's very, very important. If you feel some type of way, that's your baby. So just get a second opinion, just say, look, these are my symptoms. And thankfully, the other hospitals that I've been to, after that, nobody questioned me. I would say, okay, this is how I feel. They'd be like, okay, fine, let's check you out. They'd strap me up. Okay, can you see? And they would show me, this is your baby's heart rate. And, everything's okay. So I think it's very important, especially with your first pregnancy, to get that reassurance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, let's talk about the first few weeks.
Oh my God.
That shit is real.
The first few weeks, I was very, very overwhelmed. First of all, I like my house to just be quiet. I feel like my house is like my sanctuary. So quiet. And the first few weeks, there was so many people. Like, when I say so many people, not so many. To me, it was so many people because of my mom, his mom, and then one or two people that would just come just to help out and stuff. But I just felt so overwhelmed because that's first of all. And then I had this child, and I'm just like, wait, so I'm supposed to take this person home? Really?
They just give you the baby and they're like, bye. And I'm like, so what happens now?
Yeah.
You guys aren't going to come with me?
It was a lot. As in, sleep deprivation is real. I don't think I have slept up to 6 hours in the past 1 year. Yeah,
honestly,
like straight. I don't think so. Like, you just forget about your sleep. That's one thing. And I'm somebody who likes my sleep. So,
I love my sleep.
Yeah, so the first few months, I was just dazed. Like, wait, is this my life? I actually had a panic attack at some point and just started to cry. Like, so this is the end of my life. I am now this person's slave because anything she wants, I had to make sure she's all right.
It changes.
Yeah,
it changes.
That is not cute. Because
I'm just
you know
Don't get
what,
on your
it changes. What I say to my friends that one of my friends is pregnant now, and I think she's like in her second trimester, and I told her, I'm like, you know what, sleep. Even when you don't want to, just sleep, because when you hit the third trimester, I had like bad insomnia as well.
Too.
I would literally be up at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't sleep. And then so you third trimester, you have insomnia. Then when the baby's born, you're not sleeping for a good, let me just say, month or 2 at the very least, and that in itself is overwhelming. For my first son, my mom came over. We had different people. For my second son, bang in the middle of COVID, my mom couldn't come over, and we were thinking about getting a nanny, but I'm like, wait, this is in the middle of COVID. Unless this person is living with us and we've tested the person, I can't really, we can't really get any
vouch
help
for this person.
So eventually, it really was just 4 of us. It was me, my husband, my first son, and my newborn son, and it was just 4 of us in the house for a long time. And I remember thinking, how the hell am I supposed to do this? Because before, my mom was there, she would like hold him when he was sleeping and everything. So literally, it was just us 4 for like a long time. My sister came over to help, but mainly it was us 4. And I remember, for me, it was the sleep deprivation that got me. That was what nearly pushed me into depression. I really understand why sleep deprivation is a torture technique now, because you literally start going crazy. I remember there was one time that he just would wake up at like 4 in the morning and
just start to cry
and would scream his head off. So I remember there was one day that I hadn't slept. I was tired and all of that. Oh, sleep when they sleep. That shit doesn't really work because you have stuff to do. You have laundry to do. But I just remember it was, he'd woken up at like 3 o'clock or something, and finally put him back to bed. And I'm thinking, okay, you know what? He's going to sleep for a good few hours. Then he woke up literally like an hour or so later, and I was exhausted. And I remember just saying, Tunde! I was just shouting. So he was good because he just came, he just took the baby. Because I was like, I don't know what he wants. I don't know what else to do.
Because you have to understand that these are babies. They can't communicate what it is that's wrong. They can't say, I'm hot or I'm cold or I'm hungry or I need poo or my stomach is paining me. So everything is cry. Everything is cry. So you're just like, so why are you crying now?
Yeah.
I fed you, I've changed your diaper. What is the issue really? Like, it's a lot.
And it might just be, the arm's itchy. So it might just be crazy things. So if you are a new mom and you're kind of feeling overwhelmed, I think almost everybody that I know has gone through this.
Oh yeah.
Just know that it passes.
You're also worried because this little person is now dependent on you. You don't want to do anything that will cause any harm to your child. So you're scared. This child is fragile. You are wondering what's going on. You are still trying to remember to eat. It's just a lot.
Did you do the whole, were you like, with my first son, I was super panicked about everything. My second son, not so much. My first son, there was one night he was crying too much, and I'm like, we'll take him to the doctors. My husband's like, why? And I'm like, he's crying a lot. He's like, so what are you going to tell the doctor? I'm going to be like, he's crying a lot. I don't think that's normal. Then there was one time he sneezed like 6 times in a row, and I was like, we're going to the hospital. And we were still in the UK then, and anytime you go to the hospital, and you have a newborn baby or a very young baby, they'll see you first. So I think we went about 3 or 4 times, and then there was this time that I was like changing him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, his nipple looks funny. Oh my gosh, what is that? And I freaked out.
His nipple looks funny?
One of his nipples didn't look like the other nipple, and I freaked out, and I was like, what is this? Oh my gosh, is this a growth? So took him to the hospital, and they did tests, and they were like, it's a birthmark. I'm like, okay, well, thank you for that. Thank you for checking. My second son, not so much. The red mark, I was like, should we just leave it? So I didn't even do anything. And even he didn't, thankfully, they haven't fallen or anything. But I remember I was just so less stressed with my second son, because you realize that babies are actually very sturdy.
They're sturdier than
they're stronger than we think.
Than you think. But I just felt like I didn't feel like myself for a very long time. I felt alien to myself, because you are still trying to heal. You have this scar from here to here.
But sorry to interrupt. that's normal. I think we need to stress that that's normal.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying that this happened, so you just feel like some sort of zombie. I don't even know how to explain it, but you don't even know how your body is doing you. You don't even know if your boobs will rise again from your stomach back to the original position. You don't know what's going on. Like, it's just so much.
Sometimes,
and then you just feel so.
Sometimes you need to accept that Olympus has fallen. And then you just go to the doctor to make them rise again.
Or wear good bra, like most people do. It's basically.
So there was something that I spent a lot of time because towards obviously third trimester I wasn't sleeping, so I used to spend so much time on Google. And then even after my son was born, there was also I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep like I normally would, so I'd spend a lot of time online. And there was this time where I think for about 3-4 days, like clockwork, he would wake up at 1 o'clock, between 1 and 2, and he would scream his head off for about 30 to 40 minutes. And nothing you could do would soothe him. You could give him food, you could bounce him, you could cuddle him, nothing would actually make him stop. So I started to lose my mind. And then this is where I need to give, Captain a shout out, because he just adjusted to it. And I was like, I need to sleep. I'm losing my mind. So I Googled it. Apparently it's something called the witching hour. And the book people, they have names for everything. So apparently it's a witching hour where, like, for a good few days, like, your child would wake up at a particular time, almost like clockwork, and it would scream their heads off. And in my that was one of the times I was like, okay, we need to take him to the hospital because something's not quite right. So I remember thinking that. And then my sisters, because they've had kids, they would just be like, it will pass. And I'm like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. This is a serious issue. This baby's crying and shit. And my sister was like, it'll pass. And guess what? It did. Even the whole sleeping thing as well. After a while, they will start sleeping longer and everything.
As they get older.
Yeah. But honestly, I can say this, since I had kids, I have not slept the same way.
Yeah.
Because you
even always just you're
like,
startled. They're like, what's going on? Oh, hey, baby crying.
And you think it's yours.
And he's like, it's not ours. Calm down. But I can hear, calm down.
Yeah. But back to what you said about not feeling the same, I completely agree. For a long time, I didn't feel the same way, and I still don't. And I think it's because I've been pregnant every year since 2016. Every single goddamn year I've been pregnant. So I don't feel like myself. I think I just need to have like a 2-3 year break where I'm not pregnant. Even,
can you do it?
I can. I will. Even like my alcohol tolerance I never really had a massive tolerance for alcohol.
No, you didn't.
But it's even gone. It's gone lower. And just getting used to like my post-baby body as well. Was,
it takes a lot not to be depressed. Especially if you were a baby girl before. Like, sometimes I look at my pictures and I'm like, but this was me. I mean, but look at that waist. But it's okay. It is well.
I was always like, oh, you know what? It was.
Like, what?
And I can show you the raw whatever. There was not a lot of Photoshop happening. But now see, when you turn to the side,
but it's
thank you.
I think the reason why we're talking about this and the reason why we're sharing this is because, like Gbemi said as well, a lot of women that look like us, we don't really talk about it. Everyone's just like, oh, blessed be, the baby's healthy, and they don't talk about.
But what about you? And then also, did you worry about sex after?
I was gonna ask that. Like, what happens to that?
I was no. I was very worried. I'm not even gonna lie.
I wasn't.
I was very worried.
What were you worried about?
I was worried because I had read so much about people's libido drying up, or you just don't want to do it anymore, or you just feel. And then also because you're also conscious of your body.
Yeah.
So you're just like, so all that, but everything's fine.
Yeah. No. I think I was, quite conscious of like, my belly and everything. Yeah. I was like, ugh. But generally, I wasn't really worried. Mm-hmm. But have you? You're not supposed to. What the?
What happened?
What he said? Can you do it like a day or two after?
No.
First of all, let me break it down to you because he needs to be schooled. First of all, First of all, let me tell you. Let me tell you.
To beg for accent guy.
So okay, let me just say this. So after you have a baby, whether you have a vaginal birth or a C-section, you bleed. You bleed for quite a while. You bleed for quite a while, and then obviously because of everything going on,
big what's it called, sanitary pads.
Yeah. So because of everything and because of the risk of infection, you're actually not supposed to have sex for about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly when we started having sex afterwards. I can't remember.
Well, you did.
No. But I just remember. Have you ever?
Yeah.
What? Why am I blushing? What happened?
Have you ever done it with a baby in the room?
Not yet.
Wait.
I don't think I could do it. No, please, no. I don't want to scar her. Like, no.
Is she gonna be peeping at oh, mommy, daddy, what's going on?
Put her away. Put her somewhere else.
No, because
in another room. There's cameras everywhere anyway, so.
No, I can't. No, but the baby was sleeping now. No, you know what? Because I was in a group and some of these some ladies were talking about it. And at first I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, sometimes you're like you're good to go, and then I'm like,
so that means you have to be quiet.
What?
I mean, baby was sleeping.
Why do you have to be quiet?
I mean, not quite quiet, but we weren't shooting a porno, so we didn't need to have maximum noise levels. What are you talking about? But it was one of those things. I was like, oh, should we move him out? And then I was like, man. But anyways, and well, I was gonna ask about future babies, but you're like, no, never do this again.
I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm so traumatized from the delivery. Even though it was CS and everything, that was way easier than the actual pregnancy.
Wasn't that weird when you could feel them like pushing? Like they were pushing my organs, and I was like, I could feel that.
He was in the room, so he was freaked out. Like, oh my god. He said at some point then blood splashed, and then he was just like, oh god, are you okay? No, there's a screen, but he said he could still see.
I filmed mine.
And then at some point, there was a light above, and then they didn't know, but I could see my insides. So I was like, okay. So they were sewing me back up and everything. I was like, interesting. That's what I look like inside. Wow. And he was like, what are you? He was just freaked out by everything. He just kept saying, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Are you okay? Thank you. I was just like, okay.
I'm a bit strange. So I got Captain to film it. Yeah. And he filmed everything, and I'm just like,
it's not strange now. Yeah. But he wanted to.
So I wanted to see it. I wanted to see everything. So, and I was like, just in case they do something they're not supposed to, I'd be like, you did this. So I saw when they were cutting the different layers and everything, and then because I was like, don't go and cut my baby. So they cut the layers, and then trying to.
You have to move a few things.
Yeah, and my son was like trying to enter my rib cage, so it was
high up there.
It was weird. And then I was like, the first time I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is crazy, I'm emotional, and then all I hear is Captain go I'm like, what the fuck are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Just want to see crying. So he's one of those, he just was happy, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why are you laughing? But it was, I watch it all the time, and I'm so fascinated.
All I remember was they brought her out, and then they showed her to me. They're like, this is your baby. And I was like, she's so long. She's so tall. Yeah. Why she's just long and brown? And I was like, oh yeah, follow them. They're not going to give us the wrong baby, please. follow them.
When my second son, when they brought him, I was like, this one's a little, fairer than I thought. And I was thinking, and then later on, shut up.
But later on, has a theory.
But later on, because even my first son, he was, babies are kind of like, quite fair when they come out and everything. And my first son, he got a bit darker. And then a few weeks after, I'm looking at this second, I'm like, this guy's really gotten darker. And I told him, and actually, because my sister was in the delivery room, because it was like in the middle of COVID, my husband couldn't make it like for the delivery. So I just kept asking my sister, did you see when they took the baby out and they gave it to me? And did you follow them? Because it was just,
wow.
It was just, yeah.
I mean, all in all, we hope with these few points of ours, we've been able to convince you that it is not a cakewalk. It's very, very it's a very, very intense time, basically. I mean, beautiful, when you have your healthy child and everything. But yeah, shout out to all of you who have multiple children. Will I be doing this again?
What would you say to new moms?
Lord is your strength. I'm sorry, Lord is your strength. But congratulations on your new baby or babies. Try to take. It's easy to forget yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're catering to this child. And then there are probably people in your house. If you're African, you're trying to worry about them. Have they eaten everything? And then some of these people might even put pressure on you and be like, you did not take care of us when you are the one that should be taken care of.
You have every right to poison those people.
Well, that's what Tolu said. But all I'm saying is just remember yourself and remember that you are a human and you're not a robot, and your baby will cry. I don't like hearing my child cry. So every little way I'm like, what's the problem? Is it fan? Let's fan her. Is it this? Let's whatever. So just remember, your child will cry. Just do everything you're supposed to do. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask your mom or the women around you what they went through as well, because it was until I started asking questions they started to talk, and I was like, so why didn't you say this before? Why did you make me feel as if I was weird? Or at some point I almost felt some sort of guilt or shame because I wasn't lactating enough, but I was just like, I've tried my best. What do you want me to do? So after like 6 weeks of trying, I was just like, whoa, mojito. Bring me mojito, please. Thank you. I was like, well, I tried.
Do you have blood clots in your nipples?
No.
They say that happens.
Oh my gosh. I forgot to mention that. So the first few, because my second son was hungry. Like always hungry. And so I was obviously trying to breastfeed and everything, and there was one time that I had my nipples were bleeding. It was like they were cracked, and every time and you're supposed to still feed. So it was just, and babies, they don't know that they're hurting you, so he would just and I'd be like, oh Jesus, and it was so painful. So I literally had to just take a day or two where I just put balm over it, because they were cracked and they were bleeding. So if I was gonna say anything to new moms, I would just say give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. Try not to put a lot of pressure on yourself. Try not to let anybody put pressure on you. You hear those, is it omogu? What do you call it? Omugwo. You hear there's this account that I follow on Instagram, and you hear these horror stories about the husband's mom coming over, showing them pepper and everything. And I'm just like, man, my husband's mom is a G. She doesn't stress. She doesn't, and it's so important to have the good support around you. That I think is the most important thing. So like when we said, you maybe this is like the first grandchild or something, everybody wants to come over and everything. You know what? Draw your boundaries. Don't have anybody coming over. You're a new mom. You need all the support you can get. Don't have anybody coming over and then they're expecting you to cook and do all of this. That's crap. So don't as much as possible have your boundaries. Have a good support team. So people that will just literally come over, and if you don't have a lot of help, maybe you have a friend or so that's gonna stop by. A friend that will come over and just take the baby and say go and sleep. Somebody did that for me, and I literally was so grateful. They just took my son and they were like, just go and sleep, and I slept for 2 hours. And I just didn't, and this is obviously somebody that I trusted, so I just slept for 2 hours. That's very important. Give yourself a break, as your body might be very different. And think about it this way: you weren't pregnant for a month, so don't think that your body's going to go back to normal after a month. You're pregnant for pretty much a year. So if me and Gbemi, you got darker, just give yourself some time. Things will change.
Even your nose might not go back to normal.
My nose has not gone back.
I don't think my nose has gone back to normal. Even people's feet take some time. Sometimes it doesn't go back. I'm a size bigger. My feet are a size bigger. Yeah, I also think people need to there's a lot of pressure on women to snap back, and I think you need to take it easy. I haven't done one day of any workout ever, since I'm tired. I just can't. So some days my stomach is out to here, some days it's inside. Whatever you see, you take like that.
Some days,
look,
you have to tuck the belly into the pants.
I swear, some days you wear waist trainer, whatever it is. Don't let people pressure you. As much as try to take care of yourself, try to look nice, but don't compare. I remember looking at Kevin Hart's wife a few weeks after she gave birth, and I had to tell myself, but this is Kevin Hart's wife. Are you Kevin Hart's wife? Like, can you just relax? This babe she probably has servants up and down. She probably has personal trainer, nutritionist, chef, this one, that one. And she was also tiny. She was tiny before she got pregnant and all that. So I was like, let me not even compare myself to anybody.
See, if I show you pictures, I was obviously my second son just turned 1, so I was looking through pictures and everything, and there was a picture that I saw. This was like when we were doing the naming, and I looked at the picture and I'm like, what is that?
Oh God,
what is that? I literally was, I was like really, I just looked different. My face was like swollen.
Yeah, me too.
And I was like much
I look like
darker.
Fiona from Shrek. I'm not even going.
I was much darker. The whites of my eyes were very white, so it was just weird. And I just remember saying to my husband, "You never told me I looked like this." And I was like, "You know what? Thank you," because I probably would have cried. I would have cried. But I looked very different, and look at me now. Anyways, so yeah, give yourself a break. It's not easy, but think about what you did. You brought a new life into the world. You know what? You deserve a fucking round of applause. Okay, you do. Thank you. And if you had a baby and you like got torn up and everything, you know what? You deserve the biggest push gift ever. Seriously.
Yeah.
And husbands, you might not know exactly what to do, but just be there. Right. And I feel for new moms, the most important thing they need is support.
Yeah, and I think also don't think that for husbands, don't think that because she's a mom, she knows what to do. No. Nobody gave her a manual. She's learning just like you, so you can also Google and learn as well as to what to do. So don't just think she has all the answers just because she's the one that carried the pregnancy.
Yeah.
Don't know.
A lot of things are like by instinct, but honestly, yeah, just a lot of support. So I think on that note,
thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to us. I hope you are enlightened, and I hope you know.
And you sing very well.
Oh, we didn't even tell you. There's some other things, man.
There's so much to talk about.
There's so much to talk about, man.
We'll just leave it here.
There's so much to talk about, man. There's something else I was going to say, but I'm going to leave it. On that note, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a blessed week.
They're all screaming,
Yeah.
I'm traumatized, and I wasn't even pregnant.
Yeah. Don't worry, but it's just one of those. Sorry.
It is the ghetto.
The last thing I'll say is being a mom, having a baby, honestly made me realize that women are so powerful. We are actually superheroes. We are superheroes.
No, we're not super, because they'll now be expecting you to endure all sorts of pain.
No. You know what one of the nurses told me? One of the nurses said that it's so weird that you have a C-section and then a few days later they're like, okay, goodbye. And they were like, look, this is actually major surgery.
They made me stand on the same day.
What the hell?
Oh yeah, they make you. They said because the quicker you stand,
the quicker you walk
you
around.
heal. So yes, and then you can't laugh too much. You have to hold yourself.
You have to do this.
And then I had to sneeze a couple of times. It felt like they were tearing me. You know what? It's okay.
You have to do this. Anyways, on that note, thank you for watching. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
I'm hungry. I'm so hungry.
Oh, we brought
you promised more chops.
Jollof
For the crew.
God bless you. Can we have it now?
Not right now.
Have it now. Can we have some now?
No, not right now.
Huh?
Go ahead.
I don't know jollof for you.
You know what? I am not fucking recording. There's no jollof for me. I'm not fucking recording. Let's go home. Fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. There's no jollof rice. There's no jollof rice.
There's 4 plates there.
Maybe we should have worn sleeves as well, so it would have been battle of the sleeves, man.
I know.
Just be like, look, I'm burn up, boy.
Wow, today, wow.
They came for us for not knowing that his fans were outsiders. I completely forgot.
They came for us?
Yeah, they were like, not Gbemi and Toolz not knowing that they're outsiders. I was like, these people don't fight enough for
Get out. We fight enough for all of them. So
okay, let's go.
Scream.
3, 2, 1, action.